Hey y'all, it's Doug here, Doug Mystic Guy on Board Game Geek. Welcome to our second episode of our playthrough of Eldritch Horror using the expansion of the Forsaken Lore expansion, which is included and embedded in the game. Basically, you won't see anything technically different other than the fact we're playing against a new great old one, Yig. So, where we're at today, let's see where we're at. Last time I introduced the characters we're playing, and then we took a turn where we had some pretty good luck and got through some things. We already have some people with multiple clues that can take on some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, we're going to dive right in because I don't want these videos to be too long, so we're going to get right on with our action phase. Now, the lead investigator has moved over to Diana Stanley, and she will be the lead investigator and the first player. So let's get her action phase rolling right now. Well, Diana's doing awesome. She had a great turn in the Amazon at the expedition, where it's actually still there. Now, I was thinking about leaving her there actually and having her encounter the expedition again, but we have two clues, and we can actually start to take care of something important, which is our Rise of the Serpent People mystery card for Yig. Basically, we can get one of the two tokens put on here that will complete this mission. So it says, as an encounter, an investigator on a space containing an Eldritch token may attempt to discover the meaning behind the strange events, which is a observation -1. She's actually really good at observation. She got 3, so give her 2. If he passes, in this case she may spend 2 clues to place the Eldritch token on this card. If he fails, a cultist monster ambushes him. Doesn't lose the clues though, so you know, that's not a bad way to go. I think she's got good stuff in a fight. She can probably take on a cultist without any problem. But do we stay or do we move to get that token? That's the question of the day. So let's go to the board. Now remember, she's got 2 actions, so she could spend one of her actions moving from the Amazon to Buenos Aires, and then in Buenos Aires she could actually even make an attempt to get a card or something, make an influence test to acquire an item, or she could stay here and encounter that location again, or she can go. I think, you know what we're going to do, we're going to move her, and then after she encounters that location, she'll go back to the expedition. It's not going anywhere at the moment. So for her action phase, so part 1 of her action phase is going to be to move, and then the second one we're going to do an acquire asset test. Okay, so she's only got an influence of 2, but that's okay. There's still multiple items. Well, there's 2 items that have a 1, and she can, if she does get 1, and if she doesn't get anything, she can still take a bank loan and get one of the items. So let's go to the dice roller and see if we can get some stuff for her. Okay, here we are, guys. Now she's going to roll an influence. Remember, her influence is 2. And no, she failed. So she didn't get any points. She didn't get any money there. She could influence any items, but she can take a bank loan, which would give her 2 effective successes, which would allow her to get the Holy Cross or the fishing net. Let's take a look at those. The question of the day with assets is always the question of, is it worth the loan, the bank loan, to get a debt condition? Hard to say, but you know, that fishing net's awfully good. It says you can reroll a die when resolving combat tests, and you reduce damage from monsters. Pretty good. And the cross, see, she's only got a will of 1. She's, I guess, being subject to cults, it really impacted her. That would give her a +2 during combat tests. So I think we are going to take that bank loan. How that works is we're going to take the asset deck. Now there's a debt on top, but technically you're supposed to draw from the bottom. I don't know what difference it makes, but we'll see if we can find one quickly. If not, there's a debt condition right there. Okay. Now remember, the reason you don't want to turn these over is the condition, the stuff on the back of a condition are all different, just like it was. Well, anyway, if we trigger these conditions, you'll see how that has an impact. Okay, so her debt condition, it says, as a local action, she can test her influence to get rid of it. But if a comet comes up, some men have come to collect, and we're going to flip that card over. But at the same time, we are going to acquire the Holy Cross for 2, which will put out another one. Whiskey, that's a good one too. Okay, let's. That's going to be her action phase. So let's move on to our Trish Scarborough. Okay, we got Trish here. She's doing pretty good. She's got her whip and her 45. Now, remember, she can take as an action a clue if she didn't have one, but she does. And also remember, the last turn she got a bonus to her influence test. Check. So she is in Istanbul, and she only has one clue, so we need another clue for her. Where would be a good place? There's really not a great place to get a clue right now. She ain't got no clue. The closest clue available is, well, there's one in Arkham. She could start to head that way. Yeah, she could do that. She could start to head toward Arkham slowly, or she can head down toward, oh man, hard decisions. Decisions. Well, she's not going to stay in Istanbul. That doesn't do any of us any good. So she needs to head to Rome. Yeah, she doesn't have any movement tokens or anything. I definitely want her to make an asset test as well, since she has a bonus. So what we're going to do with her, let's go to the table, and we'll see what we're going to do with her. Okay, you can see her here. So I think what we're going to do, she's going to take a simple train ride over to Rome, and then she's going to attempt to gather some assets in Rome, and then she'll have a encounter in the city of Rome as she makes her way over to, well, you know, she could take a boat token and get there all the way to Arkham next turn. She's got good stuff. She wants to collect a clue, though. Yeah, let's do that instead. So for her second action, she's actually going to collect a boat token. Yep, that's what she's going to do. And, well, let's continue on from there and see what happens. Okay, so we have Lily Chen's action phase now. She's still in Shanghai, and she has a boat token, so I think we're going to send her down after a gate. What do you think of that? That would take one movement action because she has the boat token. So for her first action, you know what I think she's going to do? Well, actually, yeah, for her first action, she's going to try and use her research assistant, or research student, rather. Okay, let's do that. If that succeeds, then she'll have another clue, and she can do something effective this turn. Okay, so she gets to roll one die, and she has to roll a 5 or 6, and she gains a clue. If she fails, if she rolls a 1, then she discards the nearest clue on the board. So let's hope that doesn't happen, but let's see if we can get the 5 and the 6. That'd be awesome. A 5! God, guys, we're getting so lucky. So she got a clue. That's awesome. She got a clue token, which I'm taking from the general pool. Here it is. It goes on her sheet. Now, she has an observation of only 2 as well, but she's got some other stuff. Her lucky rabbit's foot will give her a reroll. So let's go back to her board and see what she's going to do. Now, I could have her, see, she's got some pretty good stuff. That was her first action, so she's got one action left. If she spends her boat token, she can get all the way to, well, she can either take a quick train ride over to the spot 17, which has an Eldritch token related to the mystery, and try and make her, I believe it's an observation check, is it? Yeah, -1, so 1 die. Gosh, that'd be pulling it kind of tight. Or we can take a boat trip using her boat token all the way down to Sydney here. Let me show you. Down to Sydney. So here she is. She can go here by train or here and try and take on that zombie and the gate. Wouldn't that be cool? Thinking that might be a better way to go. She's a good fighter. She's got a strength of 4 and items, and she could use more stuff and more things to do before she really needs a better observation before she goes after that token. But I don't want her to lose any clues either. Okay, let's do that. We're going to spend her boat token here. Okay, so she has cashed it in, taken a nice long boat ride, which is going to take her here and then down here to Sydney, where she will end her phase and encounter that space. Let's move on to Charlie now. So now we have Charlie the Blessed, and he is definitely going to spend his first action doing an asset test. That just makes a whole lot of sense. He's also got a train ticket. He could be the one to pop over to Arkham and get that clue that's there. Of course, there's a clue right where he's at, so I think he's just going to stay in San Francisco, go after the clue that's there for his encounter, and also try and gain some assets. Now, don't forget, we have this terrible Windwalker rumor of this terrible Yeti Windwalker creature up in the Canadian mountains and the wilderness. We'll have to deal with at some point. hopefully not too soon. But let's go to the board. Now remember, so looking at his stuff, he's blessed, so he needs a 4, 5, or 6 to succeed. He's got an influence of 4, and his personal assistant gives him a +1 and a reroll. So let's go do that. Okay, so here's 5 dice. We're going to roll for his influence test. Hopefully it's something good, even though there's nothing that expensive in there. We can buy more than one item. Okay, well, that's not... So we're going to get a reroll. Let's just reroll this one. Really, guys? Seriously, a 1? Okay, well, we got 1. There's a couple things in there worth 1. Let's grab them. All that greatness, and that's what he rolls. That's just pathetic. But anyway, we do have whiskey. It says whiskey, you can discard this to prevent an investigator on your space from losing up to 2 sanity. That does include yourself. Or you can get the Derringer. And he might even keep that, because he does need some stuff to deal with bad things. And this will give him a reroll. It's add 1 to the result of a die roll in combat. That's pretty good. That could make the difference between success or failure. It's not the greatest item, but he's just going to buy it and keep it. And then fine clothes come out. He's going to want that one too. That helps him with asset acquirement. So that's going to be his the first of his action turns. Now on the second one, he well, what can he do there really? There's really not much he can do. I hate for him to waste an action, but let me think about that for a second. Well, he's got a train token. You can have 1 of each, so he's just going to grab a boat token for his other action. That way he's prepared to go anywhere he needs to go. And then, so he's going to stay there and encounter the clue that's there. Okay, now we're back with our lead investigator for this turn, Diana Stanley, and she's going to encounter the Rise of the Serpent People mystery. So she has a observation of 3. She's also got... well, nothing that's going to help her with that, but right now she's got that to help her. So she's going to have to roll 2 dice and get hopefully a success. And if she passes, she can spend her 2 clues and put the token on there. So let's go to the dice roller and see if we can have some luck with that. Okay, here's her dice roll. Remember, she gets 2 dice, and we just got to get a little lucky. So let's hope we do that and see what happens. Okay, she failed that. Sorry, I cut it off before I may finish my statement. She failed. So she's going to have to encounter one of Yig's cultists. Now, Yig's cultists are fairly weak, but it says if you lose health from a test, you've been bitten by the snake-like creature and gain a poison condition. So we don't want to do that. But she's pretty tough in combat. So let's go back to the let's take a look at a cultist here. Now, the cultist stats are actually the same as or they're actually on Yig's board. So we're going to pull, instead of having this one here, it's not actually going to encounter the space or put a cultist in the space. It just means she encounters one of the cultists. So here is Yig's card, and this is the cultist that she has. She has to make a terror test. It's got a damage of value of 1. She's got to make a strength test against it of -1, and she's got a 3. So she's going to be rolling 2 dice there as well. It's not the best scenario, but she's doing okay. So let's get some dice and do some combat. Okay, guys. So here's what we have. She has to first make a horror check. So that's against. So here's how this works. So this is the horror check right here. So their horror damage is 1. So for every success that she gets, if this was a 2 and she only rolled 1 success, for example, she'd take 1 sanity damage. But it's only a 1, so if she gets 1 success, she will be fine. Now keep in mind that her will's only 1, but her cross gives her +2. There is no modifier. Otherwise you'd see a negative number like there is here. So it's just a straight 3 dice, and we have to roll to see if she loses any sanity in her encounter with the cultists. She rolled a 6, so she does not lose. That is, she rolled successes equal to the damage, so she does not lose anything there. Now, she is going to use her spell. So let's look at that. So first off, she applies her arcane manuscript. It gives her +1 when resolving a lore test. Now, she's got a lore of 4. So how does this work? When we're rolling a spell, we're going to roll this. It says when resolving a combat encounter, you may test your lore. If you pass, gain +3 during this encounter, and then flip this card. So right now she's going to have a 4 for her lore, and then +1 for her arcane manuscript, so a total of 5. And oh wait, she also has an action if a cultist monster. Oh, it's not on her space, so forget that. Okay, here we go. She rolled I'm not rolling that great, though I am succeeding. She rolled a single success, so she does get +3 combat dice this turn. That's going to be pretty beefy for her, but we do flip this over. 0 to 1. This spell's dark energy turns against you, flooding your mind with madness. Discard this card unless you lose 2 sanity. So I did succeed, and which means I will be able to keep the card. I'm not going to lose it, but I will have to lose 2 sanity, and I think I'm going to do that because I'm not giving up her spell. She'll have to recover sanity on her turn, so I take 2 sanity from her. I put it back in the bin, and now she gets to make her combat roll. Now, her combat roll is going to be a strength -1, so right now her strength is a 3, and then her wither spell gave her a 3, so she's going to have 6 dice. I need to get myself another d6. I'll be right back. Okay, now she's going to roll 6 dice against the creature. For every success she has, she's going to do 1 damage, but she could also take damage in the process. So let's see if she does. Yeah. So she sucks, basically. She did do 1 point of damage, which will be more than the or equal to the cultist's toughness, which is right there. So she's going to kill that cultist, which means she doesn't suffer the penalty of this card. The card that she did, which was the mystery. It just says at the end of the Mythos phase, well, it says if he fails, cultist attacks and ambushes him at the end of the Mythos phase. If there is no, okay. So basically, she took a damage, which is unfortunate. She shouldn't have, but she did. She could have rolled better than that. And that's going to end her encounter. So that was her encounter, and that's going to completely do the whole thing in. So she did, in fact, beat back the cultist, but not at the. But she did so at the cost of a point of damage. So anyway, we're going to put her cards back and move on to our next investigator's encounter phase, which is Trish Scarborough. Okay, well, Trish is chilling in Rome, so she's just going to draw an encounter card for the Rome city, which is a red card, and we'll see what happens to her while she is there. Okay. She's in Rome, so we're going to read this second one here. Let's block it out so you can see it better. It says a group of black shirts are interrogating an old priest, and you try to intervene. Influence test. If you pass, they let the priest go, and he is eternally grateful. Gain a blessed condition. Wow, there's another blessed condition. Would be awesome. If you fail, you are shoved against a wall and arrested. Gain a tainted condition. Well, she's in a good place with this. She's got a influence of 4. Nothing else can help her. It's not really a combat check. So let's make that influence test. Okay, here's her 4 dice, guys. She's going to make her influence test. She just needs 1 success to do it, and she makes 3 successes. God, I wish that was Diana Stanley. But she succeeded, so she passed her encounter, which means we're going to go back through the deck and look for another blessed condition. There's one right there. She now has that as well. So during our Mythos phase, I hope we don't lose all those awesome blessed conditions, but that's going to end her encounter phase in Rome. Okay, so next up is Lily Chen. Now remember, she is in Sydney, where she is trying to encounter the gate that's there. She's going to hopefully kill the zombie that's in its plus spot here. We'll just move over to the board and I can show you where she's at. She is right there. And as you can see, she's got a zombie on her space. So what does a zombie do? Let's see. Hopefully not a whole lot. So we need to make a horror test. And, well, it only has an effect if we have a comet on a Mythos card. It's a strength -1 with 2, similar to the cultist, but it has 2 toughness. Now, this is something that she should be able to do. She's got a 4 strength. She's also got a reroll on a lucky rabbit's foot. She's got a +1 from a protective amulet against the will check. So we got a lot of dice rolling to do here. Let's go to the dice roller. Well, heck, it's right there. We'll just leave it alone. Here's the zombie. Let's start with her will check. So see if she loses any sanity. And she does, of course. So where I was rolling extremely well, now I can't seem to roll my way out of a paper bag. But anyway, she lost 1 sanity there from the horror encounter with the zombie. And now she has to make a strength test. She's got a 4. Well, you know, we could have re-rolled 1 die during that, but I'd rather do it during the combat because she needs to win the combat. And let's see. Okay. Well, okay, she got 2 there, so she succeeded in... Not only did she did not take any damage... Oh, wait. I gotta re-roll that. Sorry, guys. It's 4 -1. She only gets 3 dice there, so I'm going to roll again. And she rolled 1 success. So She did not kill the zombie, unfortunately, which means she can't go on to encounter the gate. The zombie does, however, take 1 damage, as does she. So our luck is turning a little bit. I'm taking 1 point of damage and placing it on the zombie. Then I'm going to take and break one of her 3s, give her 2 back, and that will end her encounter phase. This has not been a very successful encounter phase. We still have Charlie left to go, so hopefully he will do a little better. Okay, here we have Charlie. He is still in San Francisco, and he is sitting on top of a clue. So we're going to draw a clue card for him, and he's going to have an encounter with that card. Luckily, he is blessed, so his dice rolls will be better, but let's draw one of the cards off of this deck for Yig and see what happens. He's in a city, so we're going to read the top section of this card. It says, there we go, you pose as an inmate to find a particular patient at this asylum. Okay, we need to make an observation roll of 3. We have a 3. We may spend 2 sanity to re-roll up to 2 dice. If you pass, you examine a child of Yig. Gain this clue. If you fail, you are subdued with drugs. Gain an amnesia condition, a hallucinations condition, and a paranoia condition. Ouch, God, that's rough. Well, luckily, he's got a 3 observation, and he's got the blessed condition. So let's go to the dice roller. Keep in mind, guys, that with that card it says that he can roll up to 2 dice at the cost of 2 sanity. So I don't know that he'll have to. He's got an observation of 3, and he succeeds on a 4, 5, or 6. And I'm looking at his items. He really can't do anything else. But let's roll. Okay, he got 3 successes. So he succeeded wildly, and he gains the clue. That's awesome. And that is going to end his encounter phase. Now we're going to go on to the dreaded Mythos phase, where lots of awesome, terrible, bad things can happen to our investigators. Okay, guys, here we are with our Mythos card for this turn. Let's see what happens. Doom, 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 doom. Okay. Uh-oh, we're going to do a bunch of things. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is advance the omen track. So let me show you that. Okay, here's the omen track, so it's going to advance 1. Now, should there have been a gate, which there's not, with that symbol on it, we would have had a problem. So it's not a horrible loss that Miss Chen could not destroy the gate. But that's all we do there at this moment in time. Okay, I'll read the text for you guys before we continue on. It says, you hear it again and again on the news. Every day the world takes another step toward utter annihilation. You ask yourself, how much would you sacrifice to prevent that disaster? Even if you could only grant humanity 1 more day of existence, could you honestly say that the price was too high? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to check comet effects, and we have a number of those going on between players' cards and some other things. So we'll start with the cards on the board. There's the stuff on the board. There's 2, actually. So we're going to start here, and if you look here, it says if we roll a comet, we discard 1 token from this card. Now, nothing happens until all these are gone, but we just discarded 1 from it, which means that we're 1 step closer to having some badness happen for us there. But that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Now, there's also a comet token on the... oh, okay. Well, poor Miss Chen here. She's about to get Lily's in trouble. So here's what happens with this. It says, discard this monster and spawn the zombie horde epic monster on this space. So this is gone. Monster goes back in the cup, and I have to go find the horde, the zombie horde, in the out of the epic monsters. I'll be right back. Well, here's the zombie horde, guys, and look at this thing. This is nothing to sneeze at here. It also has a comet effect that if you roll 1 die on a 1 or 2, it advances the doom track for this being in existence. Where she failed to kill the 1 zombie, it has now turned into a zombie horde. How terrible could that have? That was really a bad turn for her. She's my bane again this game. Okay, now we have some cards that the players have that we need to resolve as well. Next up is the effect on this. It says, with this comet effect for Yig, it says spawn 1 cultist on the active expedition space. Then, if there are 2 or more monsters on that space, advance the doom track by 1. So we're going to do that. So right now we're going to take one of the cultists here, and we're going to put it on the expedition space on the board, which is in the Amazon, and that's going to be that one. Now, we also have some condition cards we have to resolve. So the first one we have to resolve is the blessed condition for Charlie, Really doesn't matter what order I do them in. But anyway, we have to roll a die, so I'm just going to move the dice roll over here, put that there. If we roll a 1 or a 2, we discard his blessed card. Come on, baby. No, okay. So he gets to keep that. Nothing happens. Now we'll do the debt condition for Diana Stanley. Remember, she has a debt condition here as well. So we're going to... Well, actually, it says some men have come. Just flip the card. That's not good. Debt collector. The man of the silk suit hands you a large stack of papers. I believe you'll find this offer quite reasonable. His smile reminds you of a shark. It's clear that he will not take no for an answer. We have to make a influence test. If we fail, we discard 2 items. So hopefully we won't fail. Let's see. What is her? Let me go look at her influence. I'll be right back. Well, her influence is a 2, so let's roll a dice and see what we can get here. Oh, she got both of them. That's awesome. So she succeeded. It says, if you fail, discard 2 possessions. Otherwise, then discard this card. So this condition card has been satisfied. Just going to mix it back into the conditions. Woohoo! That was pretty good. And that is the end. No, we got one more. We got another blessed condition for Trish Scarborough. So we're going to place that there. Again, it's a 1 or 2. She loses it. Let's hope she doesn't. A 6. No, she does not. That is good. And that now ends that part of yeah, that thing. Okay, so now we do it. We have to spawn a gate as well. Then we got to do the event. So the next thing we're going to do is spawn a gate. We're going to draw. Let me go to the gate pile here. Okay, we're going to draw a gate, and it's going to pop up in a city somewhere with a monster. So it's going to be in Rome. That's interesting because, oh, we want to get rid of this gate next turn. It's got the symbol on it that will advance our Doom track. And then we have to get the monster cup. And I'm going to shuffle it around in there and draw a random monster that will appear in Rome. What do we get? A deep one. So I'll show you the art on that, because the art on these is beautiful. They were from other games that Fantasy Flight produced, I believe. Anyway, here's the deep one. Now we don't have to do its comet effect. This is a result of the gate coming out, which happens after the comets. But you can see that it's pretty tough, not a totally wimpy thing, and it appeared here in Rome. So we got that done. Now then there it is in the Roman space. Now the last thing that we have to do is do the event. It says Doom advances by 2 unless the lead investigator gains a Dark Pact condition. The lead investigator is Diana Stanley. She's used to Dark Pacts, so I believe she's going to do that. Let me show you what that looks like. Now, once again, conditions are never good, but let's see. I got the conditions cards out here. I'm looking for one that says Dark Pact. There we go. There's the first Dark Pact we've come along. It says, deal. If a comet effect comes up, we roll 1 die on a 1. It's time to fulfill our part of the bargain, though we don't know what that bargain will look like until it happens. Whew. So that's on Diana Stanley, and that is going to end our Mythos phase. So really the last thing that happens, which I didn't show you last time, is the lead investigator marker now moves over to Trish Scarborough for the next turn, and that will be the end of our turn. I'm going to give it a once over off camera. If I missed anything, I'll pop back on, but I think we covered it. Let's continue. Okay, guys, if I don't need to come back, I will see you in the next episode. So thanks for watching. Our Doom track hasn't moved yet. That's a good thing, but we've had some ups and downs this turn. Nothing terrible, but nothing fantastic either. So, see you next time. Thanks. Hey everybody, it's Doug here again. Doug Mystic on Board Game Geek. You may be watching this at the end of another video, or at the beginning, or just by itself. Anyway, would you like to win some games, or get some games, or these games, actually? I am going to give away sealed copies of a really neat little game, The Builders. You've probably seen this highlighted a couple times. I may actually do a little quick video on this one. The game Aton by Queen Games, shrink wrap, still sealed, and Munchkin, The Good, the Bad, and the Munchkin, Steve Jackson games. So, if you want to win, I'm going to give away this whole bundle, and all you have to do is subscribe. So if you are a subscriber to my YouTube channel, in some time in the last week of June, I'm going to randomly go through my subscribers and pick somebody, and they're going to get this whole bundle. Now, the only thing I would ask is, guys, I do this for free, so I'm not making any money on this, but I am going to give these games away. If you do live outside the United States, I may ask you to pay for shipping. whatever the shipping costs. I'm not going to charge extra for the shipping, but if you don't mind, I will include that in the caveats. So, in the last week of June 2014, in case you're watching this video 8 years from now, I will be giving away these 3 games, and all you have to do is be a subscriber. Now, added bonus, if you give me some comments on what games you'd like me to play, I will take those into consideration as well. So, that may bubble you to the top of the person I picked to win this selection of games. I will do it as randomly as possible, but anyway, someone's going to get this, so I hope you subscribe and enjoy the videos. And by the way, these are some great little games, especially the Builders. I like that one in particular. But hope to see you soon, and talk to you later.